One awesome testimony. All right, I know that was super cheesy, but we're on day 5 of 12 Days of Christmas, and that's the part of the song everyone loves to accentuate and overemphasize. So that's what you get. Today, we got an awesome testimony for you. Kendall, she was from the awesome home group that we talked about the past 2 days of Christmas. And so here's part 3 from that group. Kendall has already actually left that group as she graduated and went away to college, but God has continued to do such awesome things in her story and through her, and we just are so excited for all that God's doing. So hopefully you are encouraged by this and it helps you to celebrate. Go for it, Kendall.
Hi, my name is Kendall Close, and I've been going to Meadowlands since I was about 4 years old, and I currently go to the University of Wyoming, so I kind of picked up my life here and brought it across the country. And in that transition, I've learned a lot about what it looks like to turn my faith really into my own faith and really own it for myself. And I kind of want to share what I've learned within that and what my daily life kind of looks like just serving for Christ. So the biggest thing I've learned so far is that having a life-giving community makes a huge difference. I knew that stepping onto campus was going to be nerve-wracking, but it was also super rewarding to find friends within the first week, and they were Christians. And so I got plugged in with the Navigators, which is a campus ministry, and then found a home church and got plugged in with a Bible study right away. And it's been a great community to fall back on during hard times and like super high times. And with that, I've also learned what it looks like to discern my next steps for what God has for me. In this season of my life, a lot of things are changing. I don't know what's happening next week, next month, next semester, next summer, and what's going to happen after I graduate. So just listening to God in the decision-making process has been a growth area for me. So I've seen like what happens when you do listen to him and what happens when you don't, but both sides bring a lot of growth to my faith walk. And I've also been able to learn about like how redemptive God is. And I mean, I'm at school like 1,000 miles away, like nobody's holding my hand to make decisions for me. And so when I do make poor decisions or just make like the best decision ever, God is there to pull me from any distracting habits or people or anything just that could damage my relationship with Christ. And so it's super cool to see that, and that he wants me to come back to him in those times. And like with that, I've been able to see him like have his arms open for me at my highs and lows. And I mean, being at school, I'm bound to have some spiritual low. And in that time, like God just wants me to acknowledge that and come to him in that. And I mean, my community is only so supportive, and they can't do it for me. And so just being able to come to God in like the hardest times, but also come to him when he's like giving me the best day ever, has been super cool to have that aside from like my family and really own that for myself. And with like having to see like God's arms are open for me, it's been super cool to push people towards his open arms. And this summer I got to work at a Christian youth camp where all I did was just push kids towards Christ. And so then when I got back onto campus for the fall, I wanted to continue doing that. And I've had some friends that have come to me and just looking for some sort of help, and like I've been able to point them to God. And with that, I've learned that I can't be their fix-all, but I can point them towards someone who can. And because I'm currently going towards him, and it's been tough to accept that I can't just fix someone right then and there, but being able to support them in that has been super cool. And one of the verses that has been helped me with that is Hebrews 10:24, where it talks about consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. And being at college on my own has made me realize that the Bible and your faith walk is not just a selfish thing, but it's meant to be shared, and it's meant to like grow the kingdom. And we're supposed to share it with people. I'm a firm believer in that the gospel came to you so that it could go to somebody else. And I kind of cater my life and my lifestyles to that. And so like little things like I volunteer at my church for the youth group every Sunday, and with a different ministry in town called Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries, and just being able to pour out to a community is super life-giving because it strengthens my relationship with the community, but also with Christ, knowing that I'm not just keeping this in for myself, and that there are people worthy of knowing who God is. And another big thing I've learned is that no one or everyone is worthy of being loved well. And I definitely come across people that I may not necessarily like, but I can love them. And I'm not any more deserving of Christ's love than they are. And to humble myself in that and kind of pack my pride away has been something that I've been growing in, and it's been really rewarding, being able to see my trust for God grow, but also see people just feel welcome and like being loved by Christ through me, and giving the glory to God and not necessarily keeping it for myself. In all of what I've learned and grown in at school, I keep going back to a verse that I memorized when I was being baptized here at Meadowlands when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And that's 1 Timothy 4:12, where it talks about, don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And that's been kind of like the foundation and has stuck in my mind in everything that I do in my walk with Christ since being at school. And my walk has definitely felt more challenging as I've gotten older, but it's been so much more rewarding, just seeing or being like driven by my desire to know Christ and grow in my relationship, and just seeing the fruit of that in all of the community. And I know college is a make or break time for your faith, and I'm glad that I have the support around me from at home and at school,